Welcome to Match Report, guys, on the Citizen channel, where we look back at Manchester United 0, Manchester City 2 on the 6th of November 2021. So we're all happy, aren't we? 12:30 p.m. kickoff. Yeah, let's have a little talk about the lineups first. Yeah, City lineup, I got 10. I'm quite happy with that. Quite happy with 10 out of 11. That's not too bad. Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Stones, Cancelo, which is pretty much written in stone, isn't it, these days? Rodri, Gundogan and Bernardo and Jesus, Foden and KDB. Yeah, I had Grealish in for Jesus, but I did sort of say I wasn't surprised if Jesus got a game, or even Sterling and got a game in this, but there you go. United, yeah, I got 10 right in that as well, so 10 each. That's not too bad, is it? I got 10 of theirs right, so but perhaps Bernard's at the wheel, then mind Ollie's at the wheel. De Gea, Lindelof, Bally, is that how he pronounced his name? Oh, I don't know. Harry Maguire, Fred, Scott McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, Luke Shaw, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Cristiano Ronaldo, and of course Greenwood. Yeah, I had Cavani in there, but obviously is he injured? I'm not too sure what happened with Cavani anyway. But Mr. Greenwood played. He's not a bad player, is he? Of course, Michael Oliver was in charge, and Darren England was on the VAR, which we didn't really need much of, did we, guys? To be honest with you, VAR. Yeah, sort of in brief on the game. We've seen the game. We've all seen the game, of course we have. But I think the sort of salient point is when United have more shots on target against their own keeper than they do on our goal, then, you know, they're perhaps going to be in trouble in this one. And that's what happened. I think United may see it. I'm sure the fans don't. I was listening to some of the fans on GMR Manchester radio and Talk Sport, and the fans aren't thinking this, but it's would probably look as an improvement on a 5-0 against Liverpool, won't it? But in many ways, it was sort of equal, wasn't it? I mean, I think City just took the foot off the pedal at 2-0 and just totally controlled the game. United came back into it. We'll mention that in a minute. I mean, there was literally, say, 10 to 15 minutes in each half where they sort of come out and had about 50-50 of the game and sort of matched City's possession. But obviously, Ederson wasn't troubled too much. He was early on by a header from Maguire, didn't he? And we'll talk about that Ronaldo shot in a minute, which could have gone in the back, top corner, couldn't it? But it didn't. Look, there you go. But yeah, 2-0 up, we more or less just played the game out, didn't we, from 2-0 up? And to be honest with you, I just thought we played it out, and if we scored, we scored. If we didn't, we didn't. We weren't overly bothered. But I think it was quite a masterful, dominant display by City. A lot of United fans saying they're not worthy of wearing the red shirts, and do they not know what wearing the red shirt of United means? Well, perhaps they don't, lads. That's just how it is. Of course, we always have to be aware of Ronaldo, didn't he? But the trouble is, he can't do everything, can he? He can't actually pass the ball and score the goal. He's got to rely on other people. And that was an excellent attempt in the first half. We got away with it a little bit. Ederson did a nice block. Unfortunately, Greenwood was harried, wasn't he? And didn't quite get a contact with the rebound from Ederson. But yeah, he did blot his copybook, though, Ronaldo, with his one little petulance. He's quite capable of doing, isn't he? With a little go at KDB in the last few minutes, into which I'd been worried for a little minute. I thought KDB was really injured, but he didn't look that bad. But obviously, you know what KDB's like. He sort of plays to the audience sometimes. I think he got put for that, Ronaldo, anyway, quite rightly. I mean, the goals, well, here we go. Let's talk the 2 goals in the game. I mean, who needs a striker when you've got that Bally up front for us? I mean, you can't do much better than that, can we? I mean, De Gea had a great half, didn't he? Let's be honest about it. He denied City at least three occasions I can remember. Obviously, the most obvious one was that Jesus one, which was absolutely a superb save. I mean, I thought that was all over a goal, but there you go. So obviously that was 7 minutes, wasn't it? The Bally goal, the own goal, which superb cross in, a fantastic cross, and he just didn't know what, he just panicked, didn't he? I'm not too sure there was anyone around him to pick it up. I think De Gea might have come and collected it, but we had to wait to the 45th minute then, didn't we? And a flat-footed defence again was left sort of crying by Bernardo. Never say die attitude, that's what I like to see. A sort of poacher's goal, that, isn't it, from Bernardo? I have been banging on about him being a bit further up the pitch in certain games to use his skills and abilities. and he sort of got it in. I don't think you can blame De Gea particularly. I mean, obviously Luke Shaw was the one who was caught out. I think it was well over Harry Maguire's head, but as a defensive unit, they should have done a lot better. But I thought it hit the side netting, but obviously it sort of hit De Gea and went into the side netting inside the goal. So that, I think even the fans at the ground probably sort of delay until Bernardo turned away and started celebrating, of course. So yeah, 2-0 at half time. And then more or less killed the game. As I said, I think if we scored a third, fair enough. Otherwise, they were quite happy. And certainly Pep, who has the option of using 5 substitutes, and if it's going well, you know he's not going to use any. I was a bit surprised he didn't take KDB off, though. Obviously, I was a bit worried at that last thing. He might have got an injury, but yeah, like other managers would waste time, wouldn't they? They'd bring on subs just to kill the game at 2-0 with, say, 10 minutes left or something like that. But Pep's not like that, is he? Pep was quite happy with the guys who did the job out there. So I think City's dominance, 2-0 didn't quite justify it, did it? But there you go. A scoreline didn't reflect the dominance, really, of an excellent City display, 2-0. It was sort of far better than that, wasn't it? The key stats, City 5 shots, United 5 shots, City 16 shots. On target for United, just the 1, which was Ronaldo's, wasn't it? 5 on target for City, so not prolific, but okay. Possession, 32%. For United, 68% for City. Pass completion rate, United's down to 82%, City's was 91%, which is right up there with some of our best ones. And corners, 1 for United and 9 for City. Right, on to the ratings. Stuart, Brennan, and me. I'm going to start with 7. So no one gets less than a 7 for me today, even though I think a couple of guys didn't quite hit the ground running. But we'll talk about that. Stuart, Brennan, I'll give his sort of description, then the score, and then what my little 2 pennyworth, if you like. Edison, Stuart said 2 important blocks for Ronaldo in the first half, but was surprisingly redundant apart from that. Yeah, so give him a 7. I'm going to give him an extra half just for saving that Ronaldo thing. Obviously, he got a little bit fortunate. It was Greenwood, wasn't it? Couldn't pounce on it on the rebound. But yeah, I'm going to give him an extra half because I thought he did okay, and he was confident, and he was passing nice little balls within a few inches of the United players every time. But he seemed to know what he was doing, so I'll give him a 7.5 anyway. Kyle Walker Stewart said late fitness test was a big boost. It certainly was. I was a bit worried if Kyle wasn't playing. He showed up the right and restricted his venture with a disciplined performance. Yeah, so Stewart's given him a 7. I'll give him a 7.5 again, a bit like Edison. It's just great to have his pace on the pitch and his control, and that cross in the first half was fantastic. That I think it was it Gundogan and Bernardo got a foot to it, but obviously didn't direct it towards goal, unfortunately, but it did end up in a goal in the end, so that's fine. But yeah, I'm going to give him 7.5, Walker. I think it was a steady performance. John Stones, under no real pressure, says Stuart, but everything he did was spot on, and United couldn't make an impression on his unflappable cool. Well, he certainly couldn't. Stuart's given him a 7. I'd give John an 8. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was as solid as ever. There's a couple, a great thing at the end. I think he sort of cleared with his head from a sort of threatening cross, if you like. But I think John Stones was superb. And he had a goal as well, which was a shame. I know he likes to score at Old Trafford, doesn't he? Nearly had a goal. But yeah, I'll give him 8. I think he's worth an 8 today, to be honest with you. Ruben Diaz, one crunching challenge, said Stuart on Fred in the first half. Heart back to derby matches of yesteryear. Yeah, we showed a little bit of fight, didn't we? A good tone setter. Well, he's only giving 7, Ruben Diaz. I say, even though the defence wasn't overly pressured, I thought as a unit they played really well with what we had to cope with. So similar to Stones, I'll give him an 8, the same score as John. Total calmness there and ruggedness from Ruben Diaz, as we expect. João Cancelo, Stuart Brennan said, forced the opening goal on goal and then created the second with a teasing far post ball. He did. He's given him 9. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm going to give him 9. I mean, he isn't my man of the match, but he very, very nearly was, only because of a certain other guy who I think deserves it. Again, a brilliant attacking midfield display. And he even defended once or twice, didn't he? He even got some blocks in, all right, give a couple of fouls away. But I was 9. I mean, if I give someone 9, he's got to be a good job at it. Yeah, he did a great job today. Rodri Stuart says, so calm under pressure, trusting his physicality and touch to keep possession, boss the midfield totally. Yes, Stuart's given him a 9. I won't go that high, but I'll give him an 8. I've given him an 8. Not much to be bothered about with United's midfield. Obviously, to be honest with the United midfield, probably struggled against my Sunday team back in the day. But yeah, he did. He was eloquent. He was big. He was bold, and he was getting his foot in, and he was doing the right things. So yeah, I've given him an 8. Stuart given him a 9. Ilkay Gundogan. Yeah, Stuart said, kept the ball moving fluently, linking up the Blues' danger men to great effect. So Stuart's given him an 8. I personally thought it was very quiet today. I was a little bit unimpressed. I think, as I said, that chance in the first half from Walker's cross, it did end up in a goal, obviously moments later, but I think that was Gundogan. It could have been Bernardo, but anyway. And there's one in the second half where he got a long ball over the top and he just didn't control it in the 18-yard box, and he could have done a lot better. But generally, I just thought he was, again, very, very quiet. And I think you say that's a little bit disappointing from Ilkay. I wanted him to step up a little bit more after, I thought, a couple of quiet games already, and this is like another quiet game for him. But yeah, his work rate was fine, like all the team. I can't quibble about that. But I will only give him 7. Say Stuart, give him an 8. Kevin De Bruyne, still not functioning, says Stuart, is best, but even a 75% KDB was too good for United. He was. Stuart's given him a 7. I've agreed with that. He worked so hard. It looks a bit of a slippy pitch, to be honest with you, but he worked really hard. But again, like Gundogan, he wasn't quite at it, was he? But there you go. Not bad at all. Gabriel Jesus, excellent willing outlet on the right. Of course he was. Didn't give the Reds a moment's rest. So yeah, Stuart's given him an 8. I'm going to give him an 8 as well. He wasn't, didn't all work for him, but he was a nuisance, wasn't he? And that's what we want. Plenty of skill. Never stopped harrying and battling the United defenders. Never give him a moment's peace, and that was part of our pressing and stuff like that. So I'm going to give Jesus an 8. Just as I say, a couple of the shot, I thought it was a great save from De Gea. I mean, he put it on target, which I hope that our players can do. And De Gea did a great save, so certainly won't hold that against him. Bernardo Silva, yeah, as soon as said Stuart called him an absolute dream, but he was an absolute nightmare for United. Yeah, so he's given him a 9, Stuart. Yep, I give him a 9. I feel in generous mood. It's a derby win. We've got to be generous, haven't we? And what a goal. Just for that goal, I would have given him a couple of points extra just for that goal, because that just sums up what he is, how he never gives up. And that's why I like to see him a bit further upfield, if possible, than he usually plays. A superb poacher's goal. And he was generally brilliant again. He did all right. Not everything worked for him, of course it didn't, but yeah, fantastic display. Never to say it. And that's what we expect from Bernardo, and his usual moans and groans and shrugs and stuff, which is nice to see. And when it's a City player doing it, I don't mind. It's like Fernandez doing it, whatever he's called, Bruno. When he does it, obviously, I don't like it. But obviously, when Bernardo has a bit of a whinge and a groan and a shrug of his shoulders, I quite like it. But that's biased, isn't it? That's how we should be. Phil Foden, yes, Stuart said, gave Wan-Bissaka a difficult time all game and made room for Cancelo to do his thing. He did. He's given me an 8. I'm gonna echo that. I mean, Stuart's only a couple of minor differences today. Great first half, a bit quieter in the second half, but I think we all were as we just consolidated what we had. To be honest with you, he could have done a little bit better with that shot. I thought perhaps take it another yard further on, but he took it. He was bold enough to have a go, and it skimmed the post, didn't it? But at least he had a go. I mean, De Gea was beat. If he'd perhaps put it another 6 inches slightly inside, it probably would have hit the post and gone in, but it's fine margins. But he had a good little game, so I'm going to give him an 8 out of 8. And there's no subs to mark, was there, guys? Because obviously, Pep was beating the drum for 5 substitutes, but, he very rarely uses 2 or 3, does he? Let's be honest about it. But today he didn't use any in such tough conditions. But I think it's just based on the fact of how much in control we were, that it was at our own pace. So obviously the guys weren't tiring because we were totally dominating all over the pitch. My man of the match, yeah, well, as I said, 2 players there, as you could see, got 9 out of 10s. But I would just give it Bernardo over Cancelo again. And as I say, very close thing. Obviously, Cancelo got it in the last game that we played. But I'll give it Bernardo with this one. Purely, as I said, purely because of that goal. Because there's a lot of City players would have just give up on that. Wouldn't have even bothered. And that's a good team. That's City players. So the fact he kept going and got his foot on it, and it's just a brilliant poacher's goal. I loved it. It's fantastic. So the overall record now away at United, we played 83 in history. This is in the league. We've won 22, drawn 27 and lost 34. So that's not bad, is it? That's not bad for what used to be a bit of a bogey ground, obviously fairly recent up to the last few years anyway. But that's not bad, is it? Won 22, drawn 27, lost 34, scored 107. And we'll let 125 in, but obviously on the basis that we've lost 12 more games, that's not bad going, is it? 18 goal difference, so there you go. Right, United going forward, not that I give a monkeys, to be honest with you. I'll be absolutely sincere about that. I thought they were Team Ronaldo, they probably are, but they're also Team De Gea as well, like it was was it 2 or 3 seasons ago? De Gea's at form again, hasn't he? He was rubbish, wasn't he, let's be honest, for a season or two. But he was saving them left, right and centre. I'm not going to particularly blame him for the goal, to be honest. He didn't have long to react to that one. I mean, you know, he expects perhaps his defenders to do a bit more, but the communication was probably poor as well from his point of view. But he'd already saved about three good goal chances before then. So I thought it's Ronaldo and De Gea team at the moment, which is not too bad. If you rely on your striker and your keeper and you win games, that's okay, isn't it? But going forward, they're going to need more than that, aren't they? Let's be honest about it. Ollie was a little bit desperate with his substitutions. I thought tactically a bit inept for me. He doesn't, you know, you say Pep doesn't have a plan B. I don't think Ollie has a plan B either. He threw on Sancho for no effect whatsoever. He threw on Rashford for even less effect. I think they got worse when Rashford came on. And of course, he brought on the hero, didn't he? Van der Beek. There you go. So at least he brought him on and give him a goal, didn't he? But again, a little effect. And he was forced, of course, to put on Telles. Is it Telles? I have no idea who he is, but he's from Brazil. But I'm sure he could cost less than 30 million. But he probably didn't. He probably cost more knowing United. But there you go. He was a bit forced to put him on. But again, no effect. A positive, one positive for United fans out there. I'm sure you're watching this because you want to know what we think over here on the blue side of Manchester. You got to see Van Beek, didn't you? So there you go. There's your positive for the game. City going forward. That was a typical City display for me. Yeah, it wasn't the 5-0 that Liverpool thrashed them, but it was a typical. It's a different way City have played recently over perhaps to some extent last season and this season, where they do actually take that lead and then just look comfortable and hold it. It would have been worrying, obviously, at 2-0. You always think it's the next goal that counts, doesn't it? But if you're going to see out a game and win 2-0, it doesn't matter, does it? Because you could have added to it. But hey, it is what it is, and obviously there was a lot of control in that game, despite, say, the disparity between the 5-0 for Liverpool and the 2-0 for City. I say it was just as much as a dominant display by City's Liverpool. And what we need to do now is when we get back from this international break, just keep winning these games and put pressure on. I mean, we went above Liverpool briefly today with this win. Just put pressure on Liverpool and Chelsea, and obviously, to me, I can't see anyone else coming into it. Obviously, West Ham are up there, but they're not going to last. Let's be honest about it. And United, you can see why they're going to struggle. Will Ollie stay? Who knows? Do we care? Not particularly. I don't mind if he gets sacked, to be honest with you. It's unless I can't think of a fantastic world manager that he could line up that's going to particularly worry me at the moment. But there's some good managers out there, and they probably will be better than Ollie and get the team playing better. But I'm happy with that. I'm not really bothered as long as we, as I say, we need to go on a bit of a run now in the league and dominate. Obviously, we've almost finished the Champions League now, so that'll give us time to just concentrate on the league. And obviously, we've got the FA Cup coming up in January, but obviously we've got time till then, and we can win a few games and get some more points on the board and keep that pressure on. And that's all we need to do: keep on the shoulders of Liverpool and Chelsea, if you like, if they do keep winning, but make sure we do as well. So there you go. International break. Don't forget, there'll be loads of history vlogs coming out. There'll be an October quiz as well. Don't forget, there's an October quiz coming out in the next day or two. I can't remember when now. And of course, before the Everton game, there'll be the usual odd show, preview show, and history show, obviously, before we approach the Everton game. As I said, there'll always be a vlog a day, so keep that notification button pressed, guys. Let me know what you think today, what you thought. Give me your ratings. If you give me your ratings, how you think we did. And I say it was we all watched it. We all saw how good we were, didn't we? So please, if you can share your thoughts, that'll be absolutely fantastic. And Thanks for joining me today. And what a win, eh? What a winning, guys. It's lovely to win a derby, isn't it? I mean, I know we were dominating, but the city in me and the city in my lad who I watched it with, it was sort of thinking of it. It only takes one bit of magic from Ronaldo or something, and they're back in this. But hey, we should have more faith, shouldn't we? But we do know typical City, so yeah, we have to be careful. But hey, there you go. We can't ask more, can we? City bitch in the derby. That's what we love, innit? I mean, all the Premier titles is great, but it's always nice to beat that shower from up the road, isn't it? From outside of Manchester up there. So that's absolutely fantastic. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. What are you going to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. To me here again on the Citizen channel. Or have a look at the international breaks. I'll have a look at my film and TV. So I'll have a look at some reviews and information vlogs I do on there. I try and inform and entertain in my own sort of way on there. So if you can have a look at those, if you get a chance, that'll be absolutely brilliant. Anyway, if it's on there or back on here very, very soon with any of my a lot of good history stuff coming out over the next few days as well. So keep your eyes peeled. Some good stuff I've got stored away there, like a little squirrel that I'm gonna release for you. But until then, I only ask one thing, don't I, guys? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.